Hi everyone, Dragon Critic aka Leo O'Brien, and today I'm going to be seeing Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. Yes, I have the poster right there on the TV. It's the new TV we got for the sitting room before Christmas. And I'm pretty intrigued actually to see it. It's been getting a bit of a mixed reception so far. Some like it, some don't like it, but I'm intrigued to see what it's like. I really do love the first one. I think the first one's a great movie. I watched it again on Friday night. We actually, for Sky VIP members, if you have, Sky, we actually got the movie for free from the Sky Store as a Sky VIP gift. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty intrigued to see the movie. I hope it's a good, fun time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. So let's go to the cinema. That's us. 5:30 p.m. Let's go. Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods was released in 2023 and was directed by David F. Sandberg. It tells the story of Billy and his crew who are still learning to be superheroes but also trying to deal with their personal lives. However, a trio of ancient gods come to Earth to look for magic that was stolen from them years ago. Shazam and the gang are in for a big battle and must do whatever it takes to save the world. So, Shazam 2, I was pretty excited to see the movie. The trailers looked really promising. I'm a big fan of the first one. It's a great movie. It has everything I look for in a quality movie. Has a great story, really good characters. It's also balanced. The tone is so good. It's so balanced with humor, heart, action, drama, character development, comedy, just everything. It's such a really good movie. So the sequel, I was pretty intrigued to see. And, it has a good cast too. You got Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren, this is some good stuff. So I saw the movie today with my friend Tyke. And my friend Tyke, he thought it was okay. Where do I come in? I think it's decent. Yeah, I don't think this is a great movie, unfortunately. Now, it's been very mixed so far with people. A few people do really like it, but then there's a lot of people that don't think it's great. There's a lot of people that think it's quite weak. There's a few people that just think it's decent, and a lot of people think it's a big step down from the first Shazam. And I have to agree, it is quite a step down from the first movie, which is a shame because the first one's a great movie and it's a good sequel. It doesn't have the same intelligence, the same balance that first movie had. So the storyline, I think, is the main suffering for this movie. The storyline is the main problem of this film. It's not to say the story's bad, it's just quite weak. It's quite lackluster, the direction is just, it's quite silly. The first half, they make a lot of jokes at the wrong timing, and I was saying to myself, this is kind of hard to take seriously, and it's kind of ridiculous. And I was kind of saying to myself, why, it feels like these are, really cool scenes. They're quite meant to be serious. It's just the way they're executed, the way they're done, just felt really silly. It was the dialogue. Some of the dialogue was quite cheesy, quite corny, and I feel, kind of ashamed to say that, because I can see the potential in this story. There is a really good story in here that could live up to the first movie. It's just the way it's executed, especially in the first half, it feels like it's just lackluster. It just feels like it needs fixing. The story just needs, it needs to just I don't know, it needs to just take a breath. It just needs to, you know, be itself. It needs to tell the story correctly, and it feels like the tone is just incorrect. Now, it's not to say the humor is bad. There is a lot of funny moments in this movie. There's a lot of funny lines of dialogue. There's a lot of funny moments that did make me laugh. It's just a lot of it. It's just quite hard to take seriously. And the second half is actually not that bad. The second half of the movie is good. We'll get to it in a moment. It's basically just the climax, but the climax is pretty good actually. So it's not to say I think it's a bad story. It's just it just doesn't work for me personally. I just think the story it needed fixing. It needed better direction. It needed a more balanced tone. The visuals, however, the visuals are absolutely fantastic. The special effects, their performances are great. Everyone plays their characters really well. And I think visually the movie is great. The climax is basically most of the second half. And the climax is very impressive. It's exciting, maybe a little too long I felt, but still, the climax is still really, really cool. And the dragon reminded me of Bathik from Skylander Spyro's Adventure from the Dragon's Peak level, which I thought was interesting. So visually, this movie looks great. The effects are fantastic. The climax, again, is just visually impressive. It's a huge spectacle. So overall, visually, this movie looks stunning. This movie has some gorgeous cinematography. And like I said, the actors do a really good job playing their characters. You can tell they're really enjoying their performance, and that's great to see. And while the characters are still good, I feel the story, it's just not the right story for them. Billy Batson and the crew are still pretty good. They have more time together, which is very nice, but I feel like we don't really get much development from them as a team. We do, but it's just, it doesn't feel like the kind of team dynamic that I wanted. It's not to say they didn't have a good team dynamic, they did, but I just felt something was lacking. I feel like we didn't really get anything new. I just think if we learned a bit more about them as a team, which we do, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as strong as the first movie. A lot of people have been criticizing the villains for being wasted, and I can see where they're coming from. Me personally, I wouldn't say they're wasted, but they're more just lacking a character. You get their backstory and why they're evil, but something does feel a little missing. And I think the story does make it a little hard to take them seriously as antagonists. As for the character of Anne, she's pretty good actually. She's a pretty good new supporting character for the film. We do, however, get more of the wizard than we did in the first movie, played by Digimon Hanzo, and he's actually really good in this movie. He actually is very funny and really likable. So the characters are still pretty good. I just think the story, it just hinders them, I feel. I feel the story makes the characters less interesting, unfortunately. As for the music is still pretty good. As for the song they use in the first act, I'm not going to spoil it, but I think everyone knows what it is, but I just don't want to spoil it just in case. It's good. It's just not as iconic as another movie sequel that used that song. I'll just say that. But the music for the film, pretty good. So overall, this is a good sequel. I just think it's a bit underwhelming and a big step down from the first Shazam. Overall, Shazam 2 is a good sequel. It's just nowhere near as good as the first. The story needed a better direction. The characters are good enough, but they're just not up to their high standards. It still has good music and good action, but it could have been a lot better. I'm going to give Shazam 2, The Fury of the Gods, a 7 out of 10. So that's it for my review of Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. What do you guys think of the movie? Stay tuned for my next review, which is going to be on Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I am very excited to see that movie. It looks great. I can't wait to see it. Stay tuned for my review on that. Until then, take care guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care and skadoosh.